Immigration Today. This is the show that keeps you informed on immigration and social justice issues. Today our show is about knowing your rights, your responsibilities, and how to protect your family if you live in the United States, and especially if you're an immigrant. If you have been granted the right of status in the United States, for instance, you have temporary protected status, commonly known as TPS, or you've gotten a green card somehow through adjustment of status through a family member or an employer sponsorship, it is your responsibility to carry that identification documentation on you at all times. Failure to do so is a federal misdemeanor, and although it's not often prosecuted, you can in fact face a misdemeanor charge for failure to have such documentation with you. Although it used to be against the law to copy naturalization certificates, if you have naturalized your status in the United States, I recommend that you make a copy of your naturalization certificate because it is now legal to do so, and to keep a copy with you at all times, either on your person or in your car, while the original is safe at home. What other responsibilities do you have now that you're living in the United States? Many immigrants get themselves into trouble because they don't fully appreciate the cultural differences between their country and now living in the United States. It is very, very important to make yourself aware of the laws that are in your state and your locality and the federal laws that govern how you live your life, and to obey those laws. Many immigrants do not realize that even with a green card, they can be deported for various criminal offenses. Some of the most common offenses that get people into trouble are, for instance, domestic violence, which can be regarded as a very serious offense under immigration law. And one of the important things to realize is that what may be a misdemeanor under state law can actually be classed as an aggravated felony under immigration law and result in your deportation. So for instance, if you hit your wife and you end up with a 30-day jail sentence and it's a misdemeanor, you're probably okay under immigration law. However, if you end up with a 1-year sentence or more, then you can be deported because that offense would be an aggravated felony. So domestic violence is obviously, it's very common, and you need to be very careful about not infringing or getting a criminal violation, especially an assault against a family member. Another extremely detrimental offense that people don't realize are drug offenses. They are the worst under immigration law, and there's almost nothing that can be done to save a person who has a drug offense. The only exception is if you have a marijuana possession for under 30 grams of marijuana, then there are certain reliefs and waivers available to you. But drug convictions for anything but 30 grams of marijuana can result in your deportation from this country, including even a paraphernalia possession, because the law is extremely broad in immigration law to say that any violation of any law relating to the regulation of drugs or controlled substances can result in your inadmission or deportation. So very important that people realize that drug convictions are extremely serious. Firearms offenses are also very, very serious, as well as sexual abuse of a minor. And I want to touch on this because many people are in dating relationships where, you know, the girl may be 16 years old and the young man is above the age of 18 or may even be under 18, but states regulate the sexual relations between people, especially where there's a young girl under the age of 18. So you can find yourself convicted of what would be statutory rape under state law, and that may be a relatively minor offense. But under immigration law, again, you're looking at an aggravated felony, which is a deportable crime, and you can find yourself, even though you have a green card, out of the country. So these are some of the most serious immigration problems that people find themselves facing. And avoiding these offenses can help maintain your status. But even avoiding minor infractions of the law is important, because good moral character is one of the most important concepts in immigration law. And it comes into play for various forms of immigration relief, such as applying for citizenship or applying for cancellation of removal when you're asking the judge to cancel deportation against you. So if you've had a whole string of minor criminal violations or things like drunk driving offenses, you could find yourself not being eligible for citizenship or certain forms of relief because of your failure to abide by the law, even in what may seem to be minor offenses. So it's important to keep yourself clean, and before you apply for any kind of immigration relief, talk to an immigration lawyer to make sure that you're eligible for that relief. Again, even if you have a green card and you're applying for citizenship, make sure you speak to an immigration lawyer to have yourself properly screened that you are in fact eligible for citizenship. If you've got an old criminal conviction, for instance, that could be classed as an aggravated felony, and then you apply for citizenship, you could find yourself deported. Thank you for joining us for Immigration Today.